Okay, welcome back. So, this is what I did to this Toledo that I had, EDC15. And as you can probably already see, on the dyno it made 201 horsepower and 411 newton meters. Now some people are professors at this and go, oh, that's too high, and oh, I don't know, I only know what I do. As I've always said on all these videos, I'm not the best, I don't pretend to be the best, I just do what I do, and there's going to be people out there that are far superior to me. I bow to them. But this worked for me, and this was years ago. I can't even remember how long. It was several years ago. And it is dyno tested on my dyno. The curve was perfect. It was smooth all the way up. No problem at all. So this worked really well on this car. Obviously that's the thing about custom mapping, you know, every engine's different. But this one worked for this one. So what did I do? Well, as I said, I can show you what I did and try and talk you through it if I can remember, because it was many years ago. And you can either say, oh bloody hell, that makes sense, or you can say, oh what a fool, I'd do it this way. There's many ways to tune a car, many ways, and quite often you'll get the same result, and everybody does it differently. And you'll learn your way, but hey, this is a guide, so this is what I did on this car. The first thing I did was I took out the EGR valve, and on this it's dead simple to do that. We looked at the fault codes before and they were already off. The main, well, there's usually two, there's fault codes in later ones, and they're already off, so I don't need to worry about the fault code. So all I have to do is change the data on the EGR to full fresh air please, right across the map, and that's what it'll do. And so we're just looking at fresh air. The driver wish, I simply changed my 100% column to 75mm. That's what I decided at the time. It was a long time ago that's what I wanted to do, so I made it 75, and I also increased a bit of pedal here as well. These icons at the top here are very helpful. They'll tell you how much percent it's gone up by, how much real value it's gone up by. That's the raw data and the original, so it's quite good to flick between original and what change we've had. And you can see if someone's increased a map by percentage or value. It's quite helpful when you're looking at others' work. This one I don't think we went through, it's the start map. I just changed the hot start issue. Self-explanatory really. So the torque limiter, I've set it to match what I've now put in driver wish, 75mm. These engines, they're really, I don't know if you've ever driven one stock, but they're really quite sharp off the button anyway, to be honest. And so once I messed with it on a dyno, I saw that I didn't need to add any fuel below this value. All you end up with is a spike like that on the graph, and then it goes off again. So actually I changed it in much this fashion, like this. So I'm matching now at 75mm. You can put these into 2D. You have to change the way you zoom here, but you can make a nice pretty curve or whatever you want. But don't forget that the software is tailored to match the engine, so you could make a lovely looking curve here and find that it's not actually very good on the car, because they change the numbers to get over defects in mechanical stuff. Sometimes it works. And here at the top, I don't think we're probably going to see this number, but I just wanted to remove the limit a bit. I think it was a long time ago. Smoke limiter, well, I could have changed this axis, but I'm happy that from this value here that we delimit by smoke limit, if you see what I mean. So I just wanted to knock it out of the equation really, without going crazy on it at the bottom here and ending up with a room full of smoke. So that was pretty much the theory behind that. Get the idea. That one there is our single value boost limiter. I just matched it with my boost limiter. I'll come back to it later. Duration. Well, okay, I decided, rightly or wrongly, the original axis only goes to 50 mil, so anything above 50 mil I'd have been pinned to here. So I decided as we're going up to 75 that 50 wasn't high enough, so I think what I probably did was I did this and then clicked Control C, as you can see here, to copy the entire column, and then I'll put the cursor there and I'll press Control V, which I won't do now, and it'll have moved all of that column to all of that one, and then I'll have put the 50 there. So I've only moved over the data that was there into that column, and then I've just increased it probably by 1, I'd have thought, probably by, yeah, 1 degree, and then I've put a 70 in, and I would imagine how I came to this number was I would have sort of thought about it and thought, well, from 40 to 50 we're kind of looking at more or less 1 degree, so I'm going to guess that 60 to 70 is more or less 2, and so that gives me 3 degrees overall increase. I don't know if it's right, wrong, but I tell you what, it's been on that car a long time with no problems to my knowledge, and a perfect power graph and perfect power. So there we are. So that's how I come to that conclusion with my duration map. Boost, I decided to increase by up to a couple of hundred actually millibar, or 0.2 bar. I could have changed this. I could have changed this up to 70 and it probably would have been alright, but I just figured that anything above 55 mil I'll just go for my full boost anyway from 55. I didn't want to get turbo lag in the equation, the amount of time it takes it to spool, so I just left it at that and it worked. There's my increase. I can see that I've just gone through it and I've gone right. Where's the manufacturer's maximum? Well, it's here, so I'll add 200 to that, and then I'll do 150, 125, and so on, so on, so on, just to raise the boost a bit further down the table. Rightly or wrongly, it worked. N75 map I left alone. Boost limiter, well, is a bit of a cheat. I know that I increased my maximum by 200, so all I've done here is increase the entire table by 200, and it works. It's fine, it worked. Rightly or wrongly. My SOI maps, what have I done? Okay, I decided that the top of 60 was fine. Again, I probably could have copied all of those and put them all there and made that 60 and then gone 65 or something like that, but there we are. I've added a degree or two there, 2 degrees. It probably won't see this 28 here. I would think there's probably a limit on it. Well, there is. But it's at 5,000 RPM, I'm not too worried. Again, it worked. You could now go back and calculate, as we did before, where our end of injection is. Where are we at? So 60, isn't it? So that's 11.5, bang on in the middle here. It's 11.5. 16, so that's 5, isn't it? 3.5, 4. I'm happy with that. End of injection. And there we go. So it worked. Simple changes. We could work out our AFR I mean, torque limit, we may as well work it out from here. My maximum now at 3000 RPM. So if you remember from there, look, one of our last videos, we were at 475 for this engine cc's. So 475 times by, hopefully our boost is making it, 2.7 bar times by 2.7 gives us a math of, well, let's say 1282. 1282. I'm going to divide that by 3075, and that should give us our AFR of 17. So hopefully I worked that out when I did it, but if I didn't, I'm okay there. I'm happy with that. And so there we are. That was that car that we've been learning. That was what it did on the dyno. They usually make sensible numbers for these 150s, is usually 190 to 200, but it is going to depend on what they made stock. Seem to remember this one was up quite high at stock. It was 160 odd. So it does make a difference. But there we are. Hopefully that helps, and I'll see you on the next one.